just lay out the political landscape for Minnesota now in terms of Walz getting out of the way.
Yeah, I mean, Angie Craig is in that primary with Peggy Flanagan, which is kind of interesting because she's also the lieutenant governor. So she's going to kind of have to deal with these same questions about this fraud scandal. But what I think is the Klobuchar part is really interesting, and I've just been like chatting with some people quickly this morning who are close to her that have emphasized that she has not made up her mind yet. But I still think it's fascinating that she would leave the Senate to go run for governor, which kind of does not speak well of how people are feeling about DC these days at all. Um, and she was obviously a presidential candidate at one point. She was in the mix for potential 2028. So I'm curious how that sort of influences her decision on what she would do in a presidential primary. But I think the point that Jonathan was making before he froze, I think is really important. There's a lot of folks who I think feel like this does really speak well of Tim Walz. It's kind of like the almost, the exact opposite sort of situation that we saw with Joe Biden. Like he's saw the writing on the wall. And, he put the health of the party before his own personal ambitions. And I'm kind of curious, and I don't know your thoughts on this, but like whether that starts to change in the Democratic psyche a bit, like post Biden, do leaders start to sort of just like put the party's health before their own personal ambitions in a way that maybe wasn't the norm before? I don't know.